Penguin Audio presents The Underside of Joy by Serã Prince Halverson, read by Geneva Carr. Chapter 1. I recently read a study that claimed happy people aren't made. They're born. Happiness, the report pointed out, is all about genetics. A cheerful gene, passed merrily down from one smiling generation to the next. I know enough about life to understand the old adage that one person can't make you happy, or that money can't buy happiness. But I'm not buying this theory that your bliss can only be as deep as your gene pool. For 3 years, I did backflips in the deep end of happiness. The joy was palpable, and often loud. Other times it softened. Zach's milky breath on my neck, or Annie's hair entwined in my fingers as I braided it, or Joe's humming some old crowded house song in the shower while I brushed my teeth. The steam of the mirror blurred my vision, misted my reflection, like a soft focus photograph smoothing out my wrinkles. But even those didn't bother me. You can't have crow's feet if you don't smile, and I smiled a lot. I also know now, years later, something else. The most genuine happiness cannot be so pure, so deep, or so blind. On that first dawn of the summer of '99, Joe pulled the comforter down and kissed my forehead. I opened one eye. He wore his gray sweatshirt, his camera bag slung over his shoulder, his toothpaste and coffee breath whispering something about heading out to Bodega before he opened the store. He traced the freckles on my arm, where he always said they spelled out his name. He'd said I had so many freckles that he could see the letters not just for Joe, but for Joseph Anthony Capozzi Jr., all on my arm. That morning he added, "Wow, Junior's even spelled out." He tucked the blanket back over me. "You're amazing." "You're a smart-ass," I said, already falling back to sleep. But I was smiling. We'd had a good night. He whispered that he left me a note, and I heard him walk out the door, down the porch steps, the truck door yawning open, the engine crowing louder and louder, then fading until he was gone. Later that morning, the kids climbed into bed with me, giggling. Zach lifted the sun-dappled sheet and held it over his head for a sail. Annie, as always, elected herself captain. Even before breakfast, we set out across an uncharted expanse, a smooth surface hiding the tangled, slippery underneath of things. Destination unknown. We clung to each other on that old rumpled Sealy Posturepedic. But we hadn't yet heard the news that would change everything. We were playing ship. By their pronouncements, we faced a hairy morning at sea, and I needed coffee. Badly. I sat up and peeked over the sail at them, both their spun gold heads still matted from sleep. "I'm rowing out to the kitchen island for supplies." "Not when such danger lurks," Annie said. Lurks, I thought. When I was 6, had I even heard that word? She bolted up, hands on hips, while she balanced on the shifting mattress. "We might lose you." I stood, glad that I'd thought to slip my underwear and Joe's t-shirt back on before I'd fallen asleep the night before. "But how, dear one, will we fight off the pirates without cookies?" They looked at each other. Their eyes asked without words, "Before breakfast? Has she lost her mind? Cookies before breakfast? Oh, why the hell not?" I felt a bit celebratory. It was the first fogless morning in weeks. The whole house glowed with the return of the prodigal son, and the worry that had been pressing itself down on me had lifted. I picked up my water glass, and the note Joe had left underneath it. The words blurred slightly by the water ring. "Ella Bella. Gone to capture it all out at the coast before I open. Loved last night. Kisses to A and Z. Come by later if..."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?